Well, I guess for me personally, it's a partner, someone I truly love, and yeah, it was just felt right from the get-go. However, it was wonderful seeing her sisters. Even had friends. I had a good mate just put his hand up.
I had no idea I had any issues with my kidneys at all. Like, I thought I was the healthiest person ever. I've never been in a hospital. I never broken bones or, never spent any time in a hospital. And yeah, Jed and I travelled up to Queensland to see his family. And I noticed when we flew to Brisbane, like, my feet got really puffy and swollen, which I thought was kind of normal because that happens with me anyway when I fly. Like, I would often get like puffy feet, gankles. And then when we were in Townsville to see his family, my feet, like, it was hot and humid there. I felt puffy as well, like, fluidy. So I wasn't too worried, and then travelled back. We were there for about a week, went home, and then my feet, like, they just wouldn't deflate, basically. Like, they were puffy. They would go down when I was sleeping, when I was laying flat, but then the next day, like, being at work, I just noticed that, like, my feet would get really puffy again. And I noticed I played like social tennis. So then I went into my GP, and he just basically went through the blood test results, and he said it looks like I had heart and kidney failure, which was that's kind of a massive shock when you've got no idea, like, anything serious. Well, I've never had anything seriously wrong with me, health-wise. I wrote up a bit of a referral, and then I just had to drive to the hospital, like, straight away. And I pretty well went straight through ED into, like, the little ward at the back, the emergency department. And they said that there's, like, significant scarring in my kidneys, and that I probably need to start, I do need to start dialysis, like, immediately. And then that's when they sort of introduced that I would probably need a kidney transplant. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock.
Once we were told we weren't a match, however, we were told about the exchange program. It was just wonderful, like, learning, like, beforehand I'd never known about the exchange program, how they can help so many people, how they can go interstate, they can even go to New Zealand. It's a wonderful program, and once we heard about it, that we would be getting the best match for Alice, and hopefully I'd be the best match for someone else. It was wonderful. It was turned what should have been a sad situation into a wonderful situation, knowing more people in the same spot as us would be helped, which was great. And the nurses went through it in quite detail and answered all our questions.
One of the benefits with the paired kidney exchange program is that because you're going into a bigger database of potential donors, the chance of getting a really good match seems a bit higher, because rather than just a match with your donor, the pool is a lot bigger, so they can kind of pick out, like, the best match for you. So you might potentially get a better match than what your donor is for you. And then the other really big benefit, I think, with the program is that it's not just me that gets a transplant, but there's other people that are also waiting who have a donor that is happy to give them a kidney, but then they're not a match. So it's me getting a transplant, but it's other people in the country that are also, getting a life-changing transplant. Yeah, the waiting for the transplant is hard. I think you're on the list. They put you on the deceased donor list, pretty well straight away. But if you've got a live donor that's willing to give you a kidney, the process is a lot shorter, so you'll be on dialysis for a lot less amount of time. We were told for a deceased donor it could take up to 7 years to get a match, which is, I know a lot of people unfortunately are waiting for that. Like, I feel like that would be really tough. I had to start dialysis immediately from diagnosis. So I had a line put in, a central line straight into my bloodstream for haemodialysis. I started doing haemodialysis pretty much from when I was diagnosed, and that involved going into a dialysis centre 3 times a week. So I was hooked up to the machine for 4 hours each time, but it takes probably half an hour to like attach to the machine and then come off the machine. I work full time and I love my job. Like I have a very busy job that involves field work, but also like at my desk. So I was conscious of I didn't want it to impact my work, as like I wanted to minimise that. So I elected to do dialysis on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays and trying to do it in the afternoon. So yeah, that was kind of tricky, but I would come into work early, get as much done at work as I could, and then head off at sort of 2 o'clock to go have dialysis on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but the Saturday was kind of tricky because I would have dialysis Saturday afternoon, so it was tricky to, go away for the weekend because I always had to do dialysis Saturday afternoon, sort of smack bang in the middle of the weekend. I guess exciting, like Jed and I went into the hospital at the same time. I went in a bit earlier. I had to have my last dialysis session, which was kind of crazy. Like, I think I was taking photos of the dialysis machine and being like, last dialysis session for a long time. I think that morning there was a little setback because my potassium was a little bit high, so I did have to have another dialysis session in my room. They wheeled a machine in and did a little extra dialysis.
Yeah, you're groggy, you're tired, you're just kind of a bit out of it. But yeah, I remember just kind of waiting for my partner's surgery, and yeah, then the doctors were really good. They would tell me how she's going, and yeah, the nurse I remember she came up and said, it went well, Alice is fine, and she's recovering, and yeah, it was good. And then from there it's just sleeping and more sleeping.
Actually it's funny. So with kidney failure, when you're in like acute final failure, because your kidneys aren't producing, they're not filtering out fluid and they're not producing any urine, you don't pee. So I remember one of the biggest things post-surgery was the nurses told me that I was waking up out of anaesthetic, and I looked down at like the catheter bag and there was urine in it, and I think I just said something like, "Oh my God, I'm peeing," and which is funny because I couldn't wait to pee again, which is such a weird thing. It's just a normal bodily function. Like, yeah, it's just bizarre. And then waking up, yeah, it was just, I feel like the fact that my body was producing urine was amazing because I could look down and see that's the kidneys actually working in action.
The nurses and the doctors are wonderful. We're very privileged to live where we live, where we have such great support, such professional supports. The nurses were just great. They helped us all the time. If we had questions, they would call us. They were always friendly. I never felt like it was just work for them. They really do care. The doctors and surgeons, they're great. So the plan now is go on a holiday, snowboard, eat a lot of food, have a bit of fun, and then yeah, we've got a house. We want kids. The future's open and big now, which is fantastic. We've got a lot of choices, a lot of things we can do, which is fantastic. Alice can be a mother now. She can not worry about that. Yeah, I get to be a dad, which will be wonderful. And we get to experience all that.
Yeah, Jed and I can go away for weekends, and we've just booked a trip to Japan for January, go on holiday, which will be amazing. Haven't done that for a long time. So yeah, I feel like things are good. My diet's a bit, less restricted. I can drink as much, fluids as I like. I don't need to limit my water or tea or coffee intake. It just feels like it's all back to normal again, which is great. My transplant was at the end of June, so it's just been a little bit over a year since the transplant. And yeah, amazing. I feel like I'm just completely back to what I was before. But it's kind of, you have a lot of contact with your doctors, so you pretty much go in every day for a checkup and blood, so lots of blood tests. So you sort of go in every day, and then every second day and every third day. As long as things are tracking well, they slowly start stretching out your appointments. So now I'm pretty much just going in 3 times, every 3 months. I have a meeting or an appointment with my renal specialist. I still have to have a blood test before each appointment, so they just look at kidney function and immune status and things like that, because obviously now I'm on anti-rejection medications, so the kidney, my body doesn't reject the kidney, and that's lifelong, so that will be forever. But yeah, in terms of my life, it's back to normal, like I'm working full time. So I think if someone is thinking about donating their kidney, it's a massive thing to do and go through. But yeah, you'll change someone's life. Oh, yeah, you will, give them a normal life, which is incredible.